Today is Sunday, March 10th, 2013. This is Peace News Now. Here's what's happening in the world of peaceful evolution. A group of 65 journalists met in Washington, D.C. to have dinner with Barack Obama last night. No cameras were allowed, but according to the elite of the press corps, everything is on record and texts of what was said have been provided to the public. Talk about setting the bar for transparency. Silver is trading at $29 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at $47 per Bitcoin. Kim Jong-Un vowed war with South Korea this week. The North Korean government released a series of propaganda photos and video of Kim Jong-un meeting with members of the North Korean military. The scenes of adoration from his troops were almost comical, but the threat to peace was deadly serious. His ramped-up rhetoric came as extraordinary images were released of North Korean troops displaying their devotion to him. Weeping and hysterical, they tussled with each other, arms held aloft, to splash through the shallow seawater towards their leader. Many seemed in an almost trance-like state as they waved their hands in the air in homage. Kim Jong-un, age 30, smiled at their display of affection before finally signaling for them to return to the safety of the shoreline. In another scene, fawning soldiers enthusiastically clapped and cheered as he walked past. Flanked by officers linking their arms in his on the tour of defense units, he smiled and applauded them in return. In another photographed and video extract later played on state TV, he beamed at soldiers holding their arms aloft to salute and greet him. He warned troops that there may be an order for a great advance, and they should be ready to make the first gunfire in response to any attack. The emotional displays revived memories of the response of millions of North Koreans when his father, Kim Jong-il, died in December 2011. It later emerged that sentences of 6 months or more in labor camps were handed down to those who did not go to organized mourning events or cry enough at their loss. A vicious atmosphere of fear was said to have developed to encourage North Koreans to show their new leader sufficient respect. So perhaps it was not surprising that the troops were so keen to show their esteem for him during the walkabout. The regime has stepped up efforts to enforce the cult of Kim Jong-un, with vehicles in many cities regularly broadcasting praise for him from loudspeakers for 12 hours a day. In recent days, the rhetoric of war has reached fever pitch after North Korea carried out a third nuclear test last month. The UN, already imposing sanctions on North Korea, then imposed stricter financial and export sanctions, which led Kim Jong-un to speak of nuclear strikes against his neighbors and the US. He has also severed a hotline to South Korea and torn up a peace pact going back 22 years with his neighbor. The foreign ministry has denounced the Seoul regime as puppets of Washington. Tensions are likely to rise still further next week when both North and South Korea hold separate military exercises, and his personal expenses were said to be 20% of the national budget. You know the US government is killing people around the world. By continuing to use the dollar, you are helping the government. It doesn't have to be this way. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin is money. It cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. Bitcoin returns the power of money to the people. Send money directly to your friends from your smartphone without using a bank. Did I mention Bitcoin payments can be totally anonymous? Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at weusecoins.com. That's weusecoins.com. And in Bitcoin news, a new hedge fund based on the world's most popular alternative currency, Bitcoins, is achieving success in Europe. The fund would like to serve customers in the US, but the federal government currently prevents individuals from exercising free choice over their money. Similar to a mutual fund or hedge fund for alternative assets, Exxon's Bitcoin fund permits institutions and high net worth individuals to access the vibrant Bitcoin market. However, US persons and US institutions will not be able to access the fund directly. The fund manager told Forbes that the US jurisdiction is tricky. Bitcoin Fund's website says, quote, Bitcoin, based both on common and new technologies, is a perfect extension to traditional currency. This has been Peace News Now, your daily 5-minute update on the peaceful evolution. If you enjoyed this episode, share this program on your favorite social network. All the links are in the show notes. For PeaceNewsNow.com, I'm Derrick J, reminding you that we're all a part of the same chain.